Hey guys, welcome to Fisher62. Sorry I sound weird, but I'm kind of sick, but that's not gonna stop me. I'm making a video about tips about jig fishing and techniques and how to. It's kind of mixed in there. I just said them all. I don't know why. Anyways, jigs are a very versatile bait. You can use them all throughout the year. They come in many different sizes, shapes, and what they're there for is for different techniques of using them. My favorites are probably flipping jigs and mini jigs. I like throwing finesse jigs, stuff like that. Those seem to work the best for me, and are probably the best. There's a lot of trailers you can use for each individual jig. It really does. I kind of just stick to one depending on what jig it is. So let me show you a few jigs. Alright, so I just have my box of jigs. Let me show you a few different kinds of jigs that I use personally. Show you some different colors too. Alright, so probably one of my favorite jigs of all time are these tiny little jigs right here. Very compact, tiny little jig. This is a Strike King Bitsy Bug jig. I usually use the flips, mostly because the skirts are shorter and the weed guards are a little bit thicker and the hooks are a little more stout, but this is a Bitsy Bug, which it really doesn't matter too much to me either way, but these jigs are probably my favorite only because you can use them so many different presentations. You can swim them like a swim jig because the head's really nice for that. It goes through grass really well. You can flip them. This one is still pretty good for flipping. I just like a heavier weed guard and a stouter hook. Either way, it still works really well. I just really like these jigs. They're my favorite, and they're not too expensive either. They're about $2 a piece, which is really good. And then the next jig, this is my second most favorite jig, and it is the Booyah Boo jig. This is a really nice jig, also a very versatile jig. This also is a really good priced one. This one is about $3. Mustad hooks, really sharp, stout rattles, very light rattles, which I like that. And the weed guard is really nice. It's not too bulky and it's not too thin, which I really like. And it's pre-trimmed. And the skirts, I'm gonna trim up the skirts. I forgot. I got this one the other day, but this one is a really good one. You can flip it. It's pretty much a heavy cover jig. This is an all-around jig right here. You can swim it because the head is really good for going through grass. You can put this on rock pilings, ledges, all that good stuff. Wood, it's just a really nice jig. The next jig, this is a Denny Brauer Pro Model jig, I believe. This is like a pumpkin pepper color, something like that. But this is a ½ ounce. The Boo jig was a ½ ounce, and the Strike King Bitsy Bug was a 1/4 ounce. I like 3/8 ounce. That's probably one of the main ones I use. But for lakes, I like a heavier jig. I kind of like this one just for structure, mainly in dirtier water. This one's a clear watercolor, but I like it. Really stout hooks, really sharp, and not too expensive. It's about $4. And the rattles are really loud, so that's why I like it for dirty water. The next jig is probably one of my most favorite jigs. The only thing I don't like about it is probably the weed guard. It's a little thick, but I trimmed it a little bit. This is an all-terrain tackle AT jig. All-terrain, it does about everything. Really light rattles. This is a really dark color. This is like June bug. Really nice jig. I use this for so many things. I usually just flip it and throw it on rocks. That's about it for that one. The next jig, this is a good winter jig, or this is really good around wood. This is the Buckeye Lures mop jig. I like this jig mostly because the rubber, it's rubber instead of silicone like this one, so it kind of flares out. It's a different action, and I really like it, and it's good for winter. Okay, so a good tip about jigs is this is one of the jigs that I don't use too often, but it's because the weed guard. I just never came around to actually trimming it. But the thing is, this jig is actually unique from all my other ones, is because it caught the state record bass my state record bass back in 1990, I think. I don't remember. I think it was like 15 pounds. I'm not sure. Anyways, really nice jig. It's on the cheaper side, which is fine. It has pretty sharp hooks and pretty stout, but here's what I'm actually getting to on this, is trimming the skirts and weed guard. That's really important, especially this jig in particular. See how long it is? It should be about right by the hook point. You don't need it more or less than that. Sorry guys, I had an interruption. Anyways, let me go back to trimming the weed guard. About right by the hook point, and I kind of like to slant it, so it's really hard. Okay, I might have put it too much off. No, that's good. Yeah. So about right by the hook point, I kind of leave a little bit more, but I slant it down. So that's pretty good. Next, trimming the skirt. This one's okay. So this skirt's already trimmed, but usually what I do is I flip it, and since it's like that, I kind of give it like a buzz cut. It's long on top, so I like to see where I want it. I kind of like to give it an inch below the hook, so you can still see the claw, your trailer. So right now it looks kind of bulky, and I don't really care about that because it doesn't have a lot of silicone. But I don't know. This one had a lot of material. I like the weed guard on this one. I don't have nothing to say about that, but it was long, and I kind of like it long. I want to see how it's gonna do. I left a ton of skirt material on there because I want to see if they like it longer or like it shorter. I left 2.5 inches of skirt on this one, and it came about like right here. So it's pretty crazy, but this jig is really nice. Okay, so I trimmed the weed guard, which is key to getting those good hook sets and keeping the fish on. And then trimming the skirt is also really nice to get those good bites, because they'll miss it a lot since the skirt is really long. So that's what you want to do. when you jig fish. And also, I would recommend using fluorocarbon. Mono's good too, but fluorocarbon is a little bit more abrasion resistant, sorry, than mono is. And then I mean, braid is good, but sometimes you'll bend out the hooks when you're using braid, so I usually stick to fluorocarbon. 15 pound and 20 pounds good. And you may think that's a little bit of an overkill on fluorocarbon, but it's really not. Because if you go with Seager or P-line or Sunline, if you're a beginner, I would go to P-line first, because it still has, I would use like FluoroClear, which is coated fluorocarbon, but it's cheaper and it still has a really thin diameter, so that's why I would go with 15 or 20 pound, because one, you get more pound test for what you're wanting to do, and you catch a lot of fish using jigs, because you can use them all through the year, different sizes, different techniques. So I gave you 4 different types of jigs, maybe 5. This is a Arky one. If you like Arky, I don't know, I don't like it too much, but they work. They're about like $1. But I would recommend, for starting out jig fishing, go with the Bitsy Bug jig and then the Booyah jig, because you can use them for different presentations. You can skip it, you know, and you can take these rattles off if you don't like them. Like, if you're not getting the bites that you like and you just want to take it off, then do it. It's just what you feel is good, but I'm just giving you tips on what will work. That works for me. So, this is another episode of Oklahoma Fisher 62. Thanks for watching, and hope you catch more fish.